Mr. Satnam Singh Ji Sandhu, I want to thank you, your colleagues, for having put this meeting together. And to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today. Unfortunately, I missed the earlier session because this morning the Prime Minister was having a video conferencing with us all on this COVID business. And in fact, I've just come from there, and it lasted a couple of hours. And I'm here for this. I would have liked to have heard all what you said, but just the synopsis which was just given to us, and I think you have sent it off to the office, to my office. I will certainly read through it. For us, we must look back a little in history. There was a time when India didn't have food, and then we signed PL 480 with the Americans, and we were getting free food in, and it was demeaning, of course, and it was something that I remember as a young man, that when these things were happening. And then it was little Punjab, that we are just 2% of India, and that we got up, and our university worked with both the Mexican wheat breeders and the Philippines rice breeders. And within 4 years, we became self-sufficient. Now that was something that the country needed it, we did it, and we have done it ever since then till now. And now suddenly we are looking at a situation where the government wants to do away with support prices and various other things, and we are being left in the lurch. And I had seen this happening some time ago in my last government, in fact, and we were then visualizing this because that time the Shanta Committee report had come in, which had said do away with the price support system and do away with the Food Corporation of India and everything, and let everything be market like that, market oriented. But what I didn't raise then, and I said that, we've got 75% of our people own less than 5 acres. And it is unless we do something to support them when they have supported the country for 60 years, I think that's not fair. And anyway, that thing is moving ahead now. Ordinances are coming and being passed, and maybe a bill will come in Parliament soon to do away with all this. And we are going to be left in the lurch. So having seen this at that time, I remember we started looking at how we can ask industry to come in and come into this place for two reasons. One, a modern economy cannot exist on agriculture alone. And secondly, we needed industry to come. Now, industry had been planned for Punjab by Sardar Pratap Singh Kairo, a very dynamic chief minister of ours, who had, at that stage when he started it off just after independence, it was because of the tensions with Pakistan. Gurgaon and Faridabad became our industrial hubs. That time we were all one Punjab till 1966 when the Punjab split, and you had a Haryana and then us and our, the whole of the mountain ranges and all that, where our forest wealth was, or our hydroelectric potential and all was given away to Himachal. So this was done. Why? Because Sikhs part only made 22% of a united Punjab. And it didn't suit the government of the time, which was the Akali Dal, which wanted to sometime or the other form of government. So therefore, the best solution is split them all, put all other countries out, so that's a Sikh majority state, and therefore you can form a government now and then. Now that was basically their objective, whatever they say. But here is it that we lost our industrial belt. And we had to start, we had nothing left with us. We had only had industry along the GT road, which is hardly anything from Rajpura to Amritsar. So you had your hub in Ludhiana, and that's how it all went about. So we did start this off in the last government. A lot of interest was shown. A lot of people did come. We got Pepsi. We got a lot of other people who came into this place. And the last government, again, didn't give it the type of push that it was required. And when we came back now 3 years ago, we restarted. We started an Invest Punjab program, and we were looking to everyone. And I'm like Mr. Sandhu was here. brought about meetings. We've had a number of meetings in the past 3 years, and we have tried to convince people. We've asked them to come in, and I'm happy to say that in the course of the last 3 years, we've got about 65,000 crores, which is coming to the state, not as MOUs but on the ground. And it is, and now we are in the process at the moment of bringing about industrial parks. 4 units are coming up in Punjab with about 3,100 square, 31, uh, 3,100, 4 parks. One is Bathinda, one is in.
Acres, sir. 3,100 acres, sir.
3,100 acres. Sorry, Rahul. Thank you. 3,100 acres in these 4 points, and we are making those hubs for industry. In addition to that, wherever industry wishes to go, we are there to assist in that. We are power surplus. We have brought about power down to 5 rupees a unit, and I think we are one of the better off in the country. And generally, the state is now beginning to look at industry moving in. We've had a lot of interest. I think you must have been told by Rahul before this, or whoever other people from the government who spoke to you. But there is a lot of interest, and we'd like to break that interest grow. We want people to come in because we have a situation here that our agriculture is now no longer that lucrative, and it won't be in years to come, as I've already mentioned to you. But it's not only that; it's because the rest of the country is developing. You see, the Jamna Ganga basin has developed, the Narmada basin has developed, the Kaveri basin has developed. They're all paddy producing. So Punjab paddy is not that required. In fact, we have this year changed from paddy to basmati because basmati has a big export. So that is one way of getting things moving. In the diversification program, we've gone for cotton production, which is about 1 lakh acres more. We have put in this year. We have our total acreage is about 105,000 acres. 105 lakh acres is what Punjab is, and this is the area we are trying to gradually get out of this wheat paddy belt which we've got. 2 reasons for it. One, we don't have water. Our river waters are drying up. This green house effect is now affecting our glaciers. Glaciers have melted. River waters are down. That is why we are having this trouble with our neighboring states. They keep saying, "Give us the water," which was decided upon in the Iradi Commission about 40 years ago. So we've told them that we can't give you something that doesn't exist. The first thing we should do is to find out what is available in our rivers, and then sit down and decide what can go to A, B, or C states. So that is one thing that's happened. Then the subsoil water. I remember when my father built a house in Patiala in the 60s, late 50s, 60s. The water table was 7 feet. Now we are 350 feet, and it's going to be impossible for people to run their tube wells. Nobody can put in these big tube well shafts and motors and all that. Small farmers particularly. So this is all leading to a change, and that change has to be industry. And we would like everything that we have in our power, we will be there to do it. And whatever you wish to come here, I know for some of you it's a new beginning, it's a new area, it's something which is you heard of or not been into. But I'd like you to come and go around Punjab, talk to the people here, talk to your own colleagues here. Some of you must be in touch with your colleagues. And I think they will tell you, number one, Punjab does not have strikes. We have never had a strike. And if there was something very small, it was a small disagreement, but no strikes as a whole. Number two, the industry told me when I came in that these truck unions are a major hassle for us. So we banished the unions, we abolished unions, and there are no longer any unions in Punjab. You can operate the way you want to. So these are the sort of things we are doing to assist business. And we have a single window in the form of our Invest Punjab. We've set up a whole organization, and anytime anyone wants anything, you go to them. And we have also brought in a law that you don't need to get permissions first. You can straight away go ahead and start your projects of whatever you want, and we give you a certain time, a year or 2 or 3, to get your various clearances afterwards. So that is how we are there to assist you. And I hope that in the months and years to come, once this COVID business is out of the way, we can start rebuilding Punjab. I know we have already set up a committee headed by Monte Kalwalia ji to how we can get Punjab out of this cycle once COVID starts dying down. I hope it does die down, and I hope it dies down soon. But because we have 24,000 people who have been have had COVID, and we've had deaths now also, which are going up fairly. Uh, let's say substantially, it's less than 1,000 people, but it's there. And for me, every Punjabi matters. And the reason, it's very simple, because the Punjabi spirit is such. I was telling this to the Prime Minister today, that it's such that he says, "Koi gal nahi, when it comes, it'll come, up hi chala jayega." Now that is the attitude which seems to be have come into the people, and that is a problem. Now, why are we getting? For instance, I was telling them that Haryana has double our cases, but we have many more deaths than they have. So it doesn't make any sense. The reason is simple. For the moment when he gets, the Punjabi spirit is such, when he gets a cold, he thinks it's just the weather changing. Or if he gets a little cough in his chest, he's that sort of attitude. And when he gets to a point where things become really bad, and he goes to a COVID hospital, he's already into the second or third stage, and it's difficult to recover from that. So it is a good thing in one way and a bad thing in one way, the spirit, which has led us into this mess that we are facing today. Nevertheless, Punjab is moving. I mean, I can tell you this much, that when the lockdown came, Ludhiana came down to zero industries working, absolute zero. All the labor decided to go back to their homes, and I had to organize 400 trains to send all the labor back to Orissa, to Bihar, to UP, to Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, wherever they wanted to go. And now, incidentally, I'm having, now of course our industry is taken off in Ludhiana again. We are up to about, I think it's about 2,000, which I saw the figures the other day, about 2 lakh and about 34,000 units which are working, and about 16 lakh laborers coming back. But I'm receiving messages that now send us a train to bring us back. I said, I can't do that. You wanted to go home, we dropped you home. Now you have to come back on your own, or the industry themselves are contributing to bringing them back, and things have started moving. And Ludhiana is back on top. Industry by and large is coming up in the state, and uh, I have not had any complaints from any industrialists. In fact, they have been most cooperative. During this crisis, I had suggested that those of you who need these people once this lockdown goes, try and keep them home. And they did. I can name many industrial houses who kept those people home, didn't let them go, looked after them, gave them food, and made arrangements for their stay and all. So it's been a very good partnership which has worked. And that, I think, when labor gets into that sort of a mood of working with people for, like some of these industrial houses I'm talking about, have had the same labor for the last 10 years. And it becomes a sort of a family arrangement between them all. And therefore, many of them stayed back. And now, of course, many of them are coming back to those industrial houses which they worked with all these years. So it's a good sign. It shows that the labor likes what's happening in the state. It shows that the state has looked after its labor, and our industrial houses have looked after this labor. And therefore, people are looking to coming back to Punjab, and that's good for us. So, having just said that as a starter, I'd like to listen to some of you, what you say, and also read the message, the synopsis of your meetings, which you sent to me. And then I want to assure you one thing. 'Cause, you know, when people, when labor gets into that sort of a mood of working with people for, like some of these industrial houses I'm talking about, have had the same labor for the last 10 years. And it becomes a sort of a family arrangement between them all. And therefore, many of them stayed back. And then I want to assure you one thing. none of us are going to be there forever. But as long as I am there, I want to do what I can to put my state on the road to a sort of industrial a trajectory which takes Punjab's industry right up to the top. I want people, the industrial houses, to believe in us, to look at us, and believe what I'm saying is that we are there for you. We are there for you because you are there for us, and we have to work as a team. If I can get industry in, I can get jobs for my people. I can get, my economy has to move. Economy is not moving. We are not, Haryana's growth is much more than ours because of our industrial houses being uh, stuck in that part of the world. And while we've lost them from here. So we want that situation to come back too. And while we will continue to be an agricultural state, I want it to be a agriculture and industrial state in partnership. And I'm sure when you come and you talk to, of course, meet your friends in the various houses and talk to them, they will give you the same feedback. Um, we have been through difficult times. I know there was a time when nothing worked in the state for 10 years. We were shut down because of terrorism. But that stage is past. There's no such thing now. There's nothing happening now.